very comfortable. The best thing about it, and the thing that we go all over Boeing is because you've got the side stick there, there's nothing in front of you, just here, table, slides out. So when the girls bring in the meal, you know, on a tray, instead of having to balance it on a cushion and put the seat back, you know, and have the controller in front, you just pull the table out, say thank you very much, plonk it down there. That's great. And in fact, you can have your lunch while you're flying if you really want to. It's not a problem. The table doesn't get in the way at all, but we normally start off the take off landing.
So still eat different meals?
Oh, yeah. They're still just as bad as each other, but you know, they are different.
Is that the simulator?
No, that's the aeroplane.
That's,
yeah.
No,
The cargo.
Yeah. No, because it's
just the angle of
the light shining through the window, and you got the screens down, and you don't have the screens in the simulator.
Ah, okay.
So it is the aeroplane. Yeah. So there we go. All good fun. Yeah. Some of the advantages of the job. Yeah. All right. So that's basically Cathay. And then I'll talk a little bit about GA. I did everything backwards in my career, and I learned to fly in the military, and then I went on to the airlines, and then I learned GA. So I was always interested in a high-performance sport aeroplane, and then once I finally had enough money to buy one, I wasn't going to buy a Cessna or a Piper because they're really boring, you know, and I wanted something with a bit of performance. So I bought this. It's a Glass Air 1, and I bought this in 1993. It came from Western Australia, and I owned it for 13 years. Did about 500 hours in it, and fantastic little aeroplane. Very different to fly than a GA aeroplane because the wing loading is nearly double, and although the approach speeds and stall speeds are pretty much the same as other GA aeroplanes, around about 52 knots stall, what it does in the stall when it stalls is actually very, very different, and the sink rate just goes off the top. Comes down in just a wings level 1G stall, and it looks very very benign, mushy, and the VSI is pegged off to flog it over 2,000 feet a minute. So it falls out of the sky. When it stops flying, it stops flying. So you have to fly it. And the reason some of these aeroplanes get a bit of a bad reputation is because some inexperienced GA pilots don't fly them correctly. Right? So
what happens if you have an engine failure?
You have to glide it at 87 knots, otherwise you die. Yeah. Best glides 87 knots. It actually glides quite well. You know, so you get about nearly 2 miles per 1,000 feet at that speed, but it glides very fast. Yeah. Then later on, I decided to upgrade, and in 2006 I bought this RV7A, which was built here at Murray Bridge. A guy called Mal Brooks, who built over 12 RVs, different makes and models, and only died last month, unfortunately. So I've got one of his aeroplanes. It's probably one of the best built aeroplanes in the country. I watched this aeroplane being built over a 1-year period, and then I decided I had to have it. So I've had that since 2006, and I've about 250 hours in it. It's a fantastic aeroplane for doing this kind of thing. Formation flying, aerobatics, high-speed touring. It does get around very quick. It makes Australia seem very small. I've got it flown from here to Bundaberg in 5 hours 40 minutes. One refuelling stop, so it's almost as quick as the airlines can do it.
what sort of chassis you can?
160. 160 at 33 litres an hour. So, I mean, I can go a bit faster than that. The fuel burn goes up. But that gives me about 4 hours.
Still got the 2 aircraft?
Pardon me?
Got the 2 aircraft still?
No, I sold the
got
other
the
one.
other
I sold the other one.
And where are you based?
I keep this aeroplane down at Goolwa now. I used to be at Murray Bridge, and then I moved to Goolwa about 5 years ago.
And the Richo, did you select that?
No, Mal did. But he had a few good ones. He had PUB, BYO, and COG.
COG.
Yeah. COG, yeah. Now, some of the things I've done with it, these are a bunch of Cathay mates that came over from WA 4 years ago for the Aviation Air Show, and all with their own aeroplanes, and they came into Goolwa, and we decided to do a formation flight up to Parafield for the open day they had there 4 years ago. And I was photo chase, so I got a few good shots out of my aeroplane doing this type of stuff. So these are all current and retired Cathay pilots, all doing this stuff. So it's good fun. Yeah. This wind yield belongs to another Cathay cabinet mate of mine. This is based in Benalla. And I had a fly of this last year for the first time I got in a wind yield in 34 years. And They all came back to me. It's amazing. I was terrified when I was 18, and then I jumped into this thing last year. I didn't know what all the fuss was about. So it's much easier when you've been flying for 30 years. So, but a very, very good, immaculate example of the aeroplane, and he maintains it really, really well.
Has Darryl Hill offered you a flight in the Avro Cadet?
Not yet, but we're working on it. This guy, Mark Curry, also owns a Moth Miner, and I'm trying to organise a flight in that as well, because that's something quite unique in Australia. Yeah, so that's the Viewer cockpit, and that's pretty much unchanged from when I was flying it, apart from the radios and the GPS mount. Everything else is original.
Yeah, Hilly's got some problems with engines.
Yeah, it keeps breaking and they make metal.
Yeah, they'll spin out metal filing.
This is a friend of mine's Tiger Moth down at Hindmarsh Island. You may see it around. There's 3 of them, 4 of them down there now. Hindmarsh Island, and I regularly fly with these guys and get a bit of a go in that every so often. So we go up in each other's aeroplanes, have a bit of fun. But the Tiger, I like flying that too. That's something different. A bit draggy, but it's fun. And also flew one of these in the States, but that's Gary Bradley's aeroplane, which is just down a few doors down from mine at Gordon. So, again, a nice aeroplane to fly. So, there's a little stuff you get to do when you sort of mix it up with other people. I also had to get my tail drag endorsement back again, so I did it in a Piper Cub, because that's a nice honest aeroplane to go flying and good for teaching you the tail dragger basics, and I hadn't flown the tail dragger since Windjure days, so I had to go and do that. And so we do a bit of formation stuff like that.